If you can't bend your knee past 90 degrees without pain, then this video is for you. Hi, I'm Dr. Dave Candy, and in this video, I'll explain how you can get your knee to bend to 90 degrees and beyond without it hurting. Now, as a physical therapist, the most common time that I encounter this problem is after someone has had a total knee replacement surgery. But it can happen after any injury or surgery that causes significant swelling within the knee joint. Now, I should mention that if you have not had a surgery, it's a really good idea to get it checked out with your doctor, because if you're unable to bend your knee past 90 degrees, it could possibly indicate a serious knee injury. Minor knee injuries may cause a slight bending loss, but if you can't get your knee to bend past 90 degrees, it could be something more serious like an ACL tear or severe meniscus tear. So do get it checked out first. The tips in this video will mainly apply to people who have had a total knee replacement surgery, but they can help other problems as well. So the first thing that can cause a loss of bending if you've had a surgery is swelling within the knee joint. And if you've got a lot of swelling within an enclosed space, the joint capsule, it can physically block you from bending. So it is very important right after surgery to take care of your swelling and to keep it under control. So icing, compression, elevation are all really important immediately after surgery. I'll put some links down to some compression ice packs down in the description, but it's really important to control your swelling as well as your pain, because if you're hurting too much after a knee surgery, you're not going to want to do the exercises that you need to do to get it moving. And it's very important to get your knee moving early after a surgery, because if you don't do it early, it gets much harder to improve your bending on the back end. Now, beyond the swelling, what are the things that can keep you from bending? Those are largely pain, where you're just inhibited, where you're able to bend, but it hurts too much to bend so you don't. Or it can be a mechanical blockage such as stiffness in the capsule or tightness of your quadriceps muscles. If you picture this as your knee joint, as you bend the joint, the quadriceps muscles, the yellow band here, get stretched over top of the knee. That can create some compression of the kneecap up against the knee joint. And even if you've had a total knee replacement, you still have your natural kneecap. Oftentimes they will resurface the back part of the kneecap, but you can still get kneecap pain even if you've had a total joint replacement. Furthermore, stiffness in the quadriceps muscles can keep you from bending as well. You also have a joint capsule around the knee, and the anterior part or front part of the joint capsule also gets stretched across the knee as you bend. Now, in the back part of your knee, your hamstrings and the back part of the joint capsule, they actually get put on slack as you bend. But if you have significant swelling in the knee, that swelling can accumulate in the back part of the knee joint and create a blockage to further bending. One of the most common exercises that people use to improve their knee bending is doing heel slides. And while this isn't my favorite exercise, there are some nuances to it that can make it a little more effective, because most likely this will be part of your post-operative protocol. If you have the strap right underneath your foot like that, and the handles of the strap parallel to one another and parallel to your tibia, your lower leg bone, as you're pulling up, you're actually kind of compressing the tibia back in towards your thigh bone, your femur, which isn't optimal for creating a bending or rotation around the knee joint. It can be a little bit better if you loop the strap or the towel like this around your foot so that it's pulling backwards. That creates more of a translatory force rather than a compression force. So wrapping over top and pulling can be a little bit better yet. Or if you have a stretching strap like this, there are various brands on the market. This one's a Range Master one. But you just put it underneath your foot like this and then actually loop behind. If you just do this with a towel, it'll probably slide off your heel. But if you do it with a strap like this, where you've got a little something over top of the foot to hold it in place, it doesn't slide off, and you create almost a pure translatory force where the force is coming through your heel, but the strap on top keeps it from sliding off the back of the heel. Now, that said, that's not my favorite exercise, particularly if you're a little bit more irritable and limited in your bending. So one of the best ways to get your knee to bend down to 90 degrees is just hanging it off the edge of the bed, because you can use gravity to pull it down. Now, sometimes if it's really sore, your quadriceps may block you, but just kind of dangling wherever your knee falls naturally, and then just pulling it backwards and letting it go back and forth in a comfortable range is helpful to get your knee to bend down to 90 degrees. And if you can get it to hang straight down, you're pretty close to a 90-degree bend. Now, to get it to bend beyond that, using your other leg, if you have something that you can get under like this, is great. A lot of people will do this sitting in the chair, and I'll show a version of that later. But if you have something tall that you can actually get your leg behind, that's really effective to get it to bend past 90 degrees. Now, let's say for the moment that you're not down to 90 degrees yet, and every time you try to let your knee bend down, your quadricep muscles kick in and try to stop you. In that case, you can use a stretch band like this and put it around your foot. Now, this is a pretty thick stretch band. Then you're going to take both ends and loop it over top of your knee like this. Now, if you have stiff muscles, this isn't going to work because it's going to add additional resistance to knee bending. But if it's pain inhibition that's causing your quadricep muscles to kick in and guard, this gives them a little bit more semblance of control and cuts down on the downward force of gravity. Then you can kind of bend back and forth like this, and it doesn't feel like your quadricep muscles have to control the entire weight of your lower leg. Now, additionally, if you have pain inhibition, using a massage stick on your leg like this can help get the muscles to relax. You can do it while your leg is hanging down if that's comfortable, and allow gravity to slowly pull you down as you massage your muscles. If that's too uncomfortable, then you can put your leg up like this and massage it along the top and along the outside and along the inner sides of your quads. You can also use this on your hamstrings and your calves as well. And then after you're done massaging, try to come back to that dangling position and see if it's any easier to bend your knee. Additionally, using a gua sha tool on your quadriceps, going down at an angle, about a 30 to 45 degree angle like that, can help break up any knots or trigger points, get those to relax so that your quadricep muscles aren't guarding as much. You can also use a tool like this around the joint capsule, around the ligaments on the outside of the knee and on the inside of the knee to help out with any adhesions that may have developed from the surgery. Once your surgical scar has healed completely and closed up, you don't want to use this on an open wound, but going along your patellar tendon or along the scar, or even massaging along the sides of the scar, that can help with any scar tissue that may have developed from surgery. And then another tool that can be helpful is a massage gun. This one is the Bob & Brad X6 Pro. I like this one because of the metal head, but any massage gun you have access to will do the trick. And just moving along the quadricep muscles, finding different areas where it may be tender. And if you find a tender area, hold in that area for about 30 seconds, and then move on to the next one, and then on to the next one. And that can also help your quadricep muscles to loosen up. Next, moving down to a chair, you can use your opposite leg to pull back underneath the chair like this. But I often find that using a stretching strap works just a little bit better. If you take the strap and you put it through the chair, and so if we're going to do this leg, you put it behind the chair that way and pull it through, and then put your foot in the strap right there. Now, as you pull, it pulls your knee backwards, and it kind of has a diagonal pull, which pulls you into a little bit of hip external rotation, and pull back like that. Now this should be comfortable. You don't want to force this. And in fact, the more you force it, the more your quads will probably kick on and block you. So don't force the exercise. Pull to the point where it feels comfortable and then kick out against the strap. This activates your quadriceps, and after you activate your muscles, they go through a period of relaxation where you can then stretch them a little bit farther. Kick into the strap again, hold for about 5 seconds, and then relax and stretch it a little farther. Kick into the strap, hold for about 5 seconds, and then stretch a little farther. And keep repeating that process until you feel like you can't get any farther. And that's probably the most you'll get from the technique in that session. Now you can also do that using your opposite leg where you bend and kick into the opposite leg. I just find it's a little bit harder to do that when you're using your own muscles to resist. Next, we'll move into the prone position. And I don't particularly love this exercise where you pull up this way. It does stretch your rectus femoris, a quadricep muscle that crosses both your hip and your knee. But I also find it causes a lot of lower back extension, which if you've had a knee replacement, there's a chance you might have some arthritis in your lower back as well. So this back arch position isn't great. If you do want to get on your stomach and stretch out your rectus femoris, though, an alternative variation of that is tightening your tummy muscles, flattening your lower back, squeezing your glutes, and doing like a glute set, pushing your hips down flat into the table. This creates hip extension, and then just bend your knee up as much as you can comfortably. You'll notice the range of motion is substantially reduced this way. And that doesn't mean that you're not stretching as far. It just means that you're taking up more tension at the hip. So you're still stretching the rectus femoris muscle and still strengthening your hamstrings, probably even to a greater extent, but you're just limiting the range of motion by keeping your hip in extension and preventing your lower back from going into excessive arch. Now, after you've gotten your knee to bend, you need to strengthen through that new range of motion. Doing sit to stands is a great exercise to do that. To do that, bend your knees as much as you're able to. Get your heels flat on the floor and then lean your weight out forward so that you load your weight out over your feet. Try to load equal weight over each foot. Then push up, pushing your hips forwards, and push your hips backwards to sit back down and come back out. Lean forwards, load your weight over your feet, push your hips underneath of you using your glutes, then push your hips back and sit back down. That helps you stand up without as much pressure on your kneecaps, but it strengthens both your quadriceps and your glutes at the same time. To see that from a front view, it's also important that you don't let your knees knock together. So try to keep hips, knees, and ankles all in alignment. Lean forwards, load your weight out over your feet. Keep everything in alignment, so if you tend to knock in, you might actually have to think about driving out. Push your hips forward, and then hips back, keeping everything in alignment. So hopefully you found this video helpful to improve the range of motion in your knee. If you'd like to learn more knee strengthening exercises, check out this video up here. But before you go, if you found this video helpful, make sure to give it a like and subscribe to our channel so you can get notified of our future videos. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.